Well, hello, Caviar Dreamers.
Hi, Caviar Dreamers. I'm so excited because today everybody is coming on because we're having a positivity panel.
Yes, it is a fact. Today is the aftermath of the election, and we don't want to get political because we're about positivity, and there's not a lot in this country right now.
Yes.
78% of 18 to 35-year-olds reported that this week has been one of the most stressful weeks of their entire existence.
I think this is the most stressful week of my, not the most stressful week of my entire existence because I'm much older than most people.
It's really sad because it's a nation divided no matter what.
Yeah, I can't take the divided nation.
No.
Right?
It's really, again, it goes back to not being a dickhead.
Yeah, don't be a
Just
dick.
Don't be a dick.
Just don't be a dick.
Like,
and
it's enough.
This isn't about politics.
No, the U.S. has PMS.
Yeah, we have chronic PMS.
And
the
we
U.S.
need
has PMS.
a PMA, a positive mental attitude.
Yeah, and
That
today
is
we
what
have
need.
on our best cheerleaders in the entire world.
Yeah, we've got a fun collective crew of fun, fabulous cheerleaders. My old title was Woo Girl.
Yes, you were the woo girl.
Positive.
You were the woo girl.
I wooed it up.
Of the Macbeth collection and Margaret Josephs. You're my hype girl.
That's right. So today I dressed as a very flamboyant Colonel Sanders.
Yes, you are totally Colonel Sanders. Don't ask me who I am. I mean, I have on half a weave and
I like a half a weave.
Yeah, and I put on my own lashes. I probably look like I'm wonky-eyed, but that's
You
okay.
look good.
And I did go get my nails done for the event.
Well, that's what you got to do. If that's what makes you feel good.
Yes, what makes me feel good.
Feel positive.
Yes, as Mark's going to say, spend our last dollar on a lipstick. And then we
Nothing
feel
wrong with
amazing.
that.
You know what? Lipstick and eyelashes make everything better.
I love that.
But I just want to say who we have on today. We have on Barbara Kavovit, who I adore.
She's
one of my dear friends. She's always positive, and she's maybe going to run for mayor of New York City because that de Blasio is a dick. That's okay. Not politics, but he's a dick.
Fact.
We have on Petshopboy, if anybody follows him on Instagram. He is hilarious, fabulous, and has his own podcast.
And she is nonstop, and someone's calling me because they heard we have a positivity panel and they see how great it is.
And then we have on my love, Anthony Lario from The Shit Show, and he has his own podcast. So we're all age groups and all positivity. So everyone's coming in.
Yeah.
Oh,
hi! How you doing?
We're so happy because we have on our best cheerleaders today. I just gave you guys a great introduction. Brandon, I said everybody follows him, the Petshopboy, and he has his own podcast, The B List. We have Anthony Lario, who has The Shit Show, and he's amazing. The fabulous Barbara K, who's going to be running for mayor because you know she tamed the New York City Housewives, and now she's got to tame them all in New York.
I am going to do that. I have to rebuild. We have to make it better.
We really do. But we said today's not going to be about politics as much as we're going to talk about how we make ourselves feel good in a stressful lifetime, in a stressful environment, because everybody should know we're taping this the day after the election. We still don't know who the president is. And at this point, I mean, you know, God only knows what's going to happen. So let's talk about all that we're going to do to make ourselves feel good when we're so stressed out, and what everybody else could do in such uncertain times.
Like, what do you guys do to escape from a situation? You know, when you're really feeling down, is there anyone's Instagram account you guys go to have like a really good laugh and take your mind off things?
I do. I go to, there's this little boy that cooks. Kobe Eats, his name is.
Okay, Kobe with a K or a C?
With a K. It's
okay.
K-O-B-E. And he's can't be more than a year and a half old. And he gets up with his little chef hat, and he has all these ingredients, and his mom is standing off to the side, and he's making pasta and smoothies and all kinds of fun little, I mean, he just is so delicious that he can make anybody's troubles go away.
Oh, I love that.
That's amazing. That's so. I'm going to follow little Kobe Eats. Anything with food makes me happy. What about you, Brandon?
I find that I follow. I don't follow like people a lot of times. I'll follow like recap accounts or things like that. You know, sometimes Bravo, sometimes not Bravo. But if I miss a show, I just like catch clips that way. I don't really follow like people's accounts as much. I mean, obviously I follow you guys, but I'm kind of like in and out on Instagram. Like I post a lot, I just dump stuff, and then I like hop off because I feel like if I spend too much time, it's a time suckage. And then, does that make sense? You know what I mean?
Totally.
Yes.
It's a vortex.
It's how you absorb social media. So like I like to just put stuff out there and throw, it's like throwing spaghetti at a wall, and then just like leave it and then just run away. I don't like to spend too much time because I just feel like people can be so negative online. So you have to find like your joy, and like you said, Kobe Eats. So it's like something that's joyful for you, that's good. And then just like get out. You know, it's how you use social media.
I spend a lot of time on TikTok too these days.
You do.
Totally.
Follow Barbara on TikTok.
Okay. We're not big TikTokers, so I feel like I could be. I'm very into reels now. My reels, I'm very into the reels.
Yeah.
Marge, you'd be good at TikTok. You should do
I could be
it.
good at TikTok, but it's like I have a hard time just getting showered and putting makeup on.
When you come over, Marge, we're gonna twerk on TikTok.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Ooh,
got it,
okay.
you got
All
it.
right. If you're gonna make me, Barbara. Well, Anthony, what about you? Who do you go to and follow when you want it?
Well, I actually get a lot of my catharsis from Petshopboy from Brandon.
Oh, you do?
I do.
I do too, by the way.
We've never met. Okay, yeah.
I know. I've never
Okay,
seen him in person.
okay.
He's cute. He's making me feel positive.
Yes, he's very handsome. A lot of people.
Really is, yeah.
Thank you.
I get a lot of I like to go in like two different outlets. Like I like cynicism humor, which I feel like I go to Brandon for that, and Joe Gunn is very, very funny.
He's
and
funny.
JT Firstman I love. And I also do love, in a similar lane to Barbara, I love the Shirley Temple King, that little boy that looks like Seth MacFarlane in like a 4-year-old's body. He's so
I
funny.
know him. I love little kids, so we're gonna have to follow.
Oh, yeah.
He rates Shirley Temples. He was just doing it with the chick from Saturday Night Live the other night, and they rate Shirley Temples all across, and they're even doing it at outdoor dining during the pandemic, and it's just kind of mindless and innocent and fun.
Sounds like all
I can
kinds of
check
cool.
it out.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, that was like my go-to drink and could be to this day. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to
We
follow.
love a Shirley Temple.
Who doesn't love a Shirley Temple? I mean, Barb, maybe we'll have to have Shirley Temples tomorrow night.
You have to use your mocktails though.
Yeah, our the mingle
Well, also,
mocktail.
that is interesting because I feel like, I don't know about you with the drinking, Brandon, but me and Anthony are definitely the type of people that would wake up on a depressing day and put tequila on our Lucky Charms, right?
Totally.
Big into the drinking. But you guys being mocktail queens, not cocktail queens,
Yes.
like how do you escape? Because last night I heard in New York City the lines for liquor stores all the way down.
Pretty
the block.
busy. Yeah.
So how do you guys handle it? Like, we pour ourselves a big tequila. You head into the freezer to get the ice cream. Like, what's going on?
Listen, I love to have chocolate or, something decadent like a chocolate chip cookie. I'm more of an eater.
Yeah.
I'd rather, as opposed to drink. Yeah, I find food very soothing. I love to eat. So anything fattening and decadent, I'd rather sit on my sofa, watch a movie, and eat.
Because I like both.
Yeah. Oh,
I
that's
like both.
you work
But
out.
I don't go to the hard liquor last night. I was just drinking wine, but I knew because I know from previous experience from 2016, I wasn't going to get too drunk. I was just going to get a little lightheaded and then just go to sleep because I knew we weren't going to know anything that night. So I was just like, let me just drink a couple of glasses of wine and that's it. But I don't really like to drink too much. I need to be doing something if we're like drinking like out dancing or something like that. And
well, and the hangover anxiety is so bad.
Exactly. That's even worse.
It can make it worse.
I like to just get up early and be stressed out.
Yeah.
Late and stressed out.
Yeah, I personally just love to eat. So I just feel like food is so comforting. Something, it makes everything better. Food brings people together. And no one gets nasty when they're eating, right? I feel like, there could be nasty drunks, but there's no nasty full people.
There's nasty hangry people, but definitely
nasty
not
hangry, but not nasty full people. So what music, we were going to ask you, what music do you put on to make yourself feel better?
Well, I'm wearing my Jimi Hendrix shirt.
I love that.
But I love Guns N' Roses and Jennifer Lopez. So give me some, take me down to the Paradise City and Waiting for Tonight, and I'm good to go.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I walked down the aisle to Welcome to the Jungle.
You
Did you?
Yeah, when my husband came to that. Yeah, absolutely.
That is amazing. That's like my anthem. Well, that's what New York City is like right now. It's like Welcome to the Jungle.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like anything that I grew up with. So like anything that just reminds me of my childhood. When I was growing up, my mom listened to a lot of like Sade randomly and stuff like that. So sometimes just like having that puts me in calm. But I also love like anything from Fleetwood Mac, like the Rumors album, always for some reason, just like, it's classic.
That's what we were saying earlier. I was saying we're very Fleetwood Mac driven in the office, like anything. And your dog is named Stevie.
Stevie. So I love Stevie. Everyone knows that. But yeah, really anything Stevie Nicks or Fleetwood Mac, any of the classics. Elton John is great. You know, I love disco, Marge. So like anything disco.
I think we have the same music palette.
We do.
Because everything.
We were driving around in your car and everything you had on, I was like, yeah.
Yeah. There's also that one song there, But for the Grace of God by Machine. Do you know that song?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Do you know that song? I'm going to play it for you guys later.
Barbara does, right?
Yeah. Barb, you know that song?
Yep. I mean, Stevie Nicks is the best. You can never go wrong with her.
I know.
I hate to sidetrack, but have you guys ever heard of Night of a Thousand Stevies? Did I tell you about this?
No.
You told me, but tell them.
What is that?
It's Night of a Thousand Stevies. It's like a yearly, I mean, obviously it's annually, but we missed it this year because it was supposed to be in April during everything. But who knows when it'll come back. But yearly it happens at like Irving Plaza, you know, like the concert hall. It's near Union Square. And it's kind of like a convention of Stevie Nicks fans, and everyone dresses up, and it's like tons of like women, gay men, it's kind of everyone, but there's like tons of Stevie Nicks and Fleetwood Mac cover bands, and they have like a theme every year.
Oh, that sounds
so like it's just a ton of people with tambourines dressed up as Stevie Nicks. I mean, you don't have to dress up, but you can. It's amazing. It's amazing.
I know, and with all this crazy pandemic, we're missing out on so many good moments like that. But
it'll be better when it comes back. I look at it that way.
Well,
Anthony, what do you listen to?
I'm like a mixed bag. I mean, I like a lot of well, I like to play music to keep me calm, really. So I'll do.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Brandon, you have to listen to Anthony. He's an amazing pianist. He sings and he plays the piano. He has a beautiful voice.
I love when
Thank you. Well, it's like it's very cathartic for me, and I like to write a lot. So I will. My biggest catharsis when it comes to music is like getting out the voice memos on my cell phone, and I just like sit at the piano and I'll riff, and like it really helps me to like wake up in the morning, honestly, because I always think about things that are waiting for me, you know what I mean? And music is something I always come back to. So I'm like, the piano's downstairs, it's by my side, and so I'll play like Joni Mitchell, or I play a lot of Taylor Swift. I recently got into like more oldies stuff, Frank Sinatra. I like a lot of things with like the major seventh chord on top, anything that kind of makes you feel like you by a fire with hot chocolate or something like that. I like.
I know. I like that. I feel like
we need a piano in this house.
I told Margaret she needs a piano, a
big
white piano.
I know. It was funny because my mother bought me a piano when I was little because she was like, "You have beautiful long fingers." I said, "No, my fingers are long compared to your stubs." You know, because she has short fingers and they just look long compared to hers. And it was just very, very funny. So she insisted I take piano lessons. But it was just, you know, I wasn't.
You need like a Liberace style piano. You need that.
I do. I do.
Yeah.
You know,
you need like a lime green.
I really could put even in my entry foyer.
You really
I have
need
room in my entry foyer, which I could. Really, that'll be like
wrap it in one of your wallpapers. You know, like the Missoni wallpaper.
Yeah.
I've been seeing like the progression of your. I was sad when I saw the wallpaper in the bathroom, the guest bathroom.
Yeah.
I love that, but I mean, I'm sure it's.
Yeah, it was peeling and it was old, and we had to, you know, I had to do new tile and everything else, but the whole house is wallpapered, covered head to toe, and we're still wallpapering.
And that lifts our spirits. Like, it is crazy. Some people think we're nuts and they could vomit if they had a hangover, but we like that. That lifts our spirits. That's what makes us feel good.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, I
totally.
follow. Ashley Stark. That's what I was going to say. She has great home stuff, Ashley Stark, and of course, Architectural Digest. Yeah. I always have to watch Open Door. Do you guys watch that ever?
No, I've heard of it.
I'm like obsessed with it. It's like you go into everybody's home and how great it is, and they let you in, and they walk you around.
We watch that together.
Yes, I made you watch it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're so nosy, it's great.
When your space is nice, it's just it makes you feel just so much better, right? It's
totally.
But that makes me go to, you know how you said before, Brandon, you have to get off of Instagram. Like I will get consumed. Like I'll find a design account and it'll just keep one-upping. There's always someone better and more to look at. And then I'll be like, oh my God, I'll never be worthy. And you can just get fixated on a million different accounts, and hours will go by and you'll get nothing done. So that's why I start to go crazy if I get too wrapped up.
I'm okay if it's like art or something like that, because I can always consume more and I'm okay with that. But when it gets into like selfies and stuff like that, and it's like, you know, that's when I'm like, all right, what am I really doing here?
Yeah.
Well, the worst is when you try and go backwards and then you realize how many profiles you went through, like, oh God, I'm lost.
I know.
I just quit.
I find that I spend more time on Twitter sometimes. I know that seems like a complete, like, because Twitter is typically kind of like, people think it's more negative, but again, it's who you follow, because I follow a lot of critical thinkers or writers that kind of, I veer more people that are like more positive or creative. So it really is just who you spend your
Bella.
really, you know?
Bella's
something interesting about
yeah, Bella's there.
Bella Benigno.
Okay, are you guys reading any books right now that are making you feel good?
Yeah, I got back into reading. I used to be obsessed with it. I feel like every like gay guy's thing in high school is that they were close with their English teacher, and like I was every single English teacher I ever had. Yeah, I was like best friends with all of them, and I went back and started reading a lot, and I reread my favorite book that I read when I was a sophomore in high school called Ordinary People by Judith Guest.
Yes, and that movie was great too.
And the movie with Mary Tyler Moore is unbelievable, but
painful.
It's very painful, but I often like get therapy out of painful things in a way. Like I like to read a lot of like morbid, sad stuff, because usually there's a piece of it that has a lesson, or you can kind of compare it to your own life and look and say, okay, well, X, Y, and Z has not happened to me, and I'm grateful because of X, Y, and Z. And it also, you know, helps you compartmentalize in a lot of ways. And then I've been reading a lot of Warsan Shire. She wrote the poems for Beyonce's Lemonade, like in between the songs, there's like poems, and she has like a lot of really beautiful like horror poems. They're really good.
What about you, Barb?
Me? Oh,
yes.
I am writing right now. So, because I'm a little bit of a writer, actually, I'm a lot of a writer, and I am writing.
You have a great book.
I'm writing a screenplay to my novel Heels of Steel. And hopefully, you know, when it's done in the next 3 months, it'll be picked up and made into a pilot. A pilot will be shot, and then it'll get picked up for a TV series. I'm praying. So that's how I kind of really, you know, I get things bottled up in my head, and instead of reading, I like to write. And it just makes me feel better to get words out on paper or a computer, and then I feel like my brain is clear to get more stuff in and then release it again. So I love to write words.
Oh, I love that. Do you dictate to yourself also? Do you transcribe anything or no?
Yeah, I use my iPhone a lot. So I'll just go into notes and I'll have a thought, and then I'll just, you know, use the mic and say whatever in my head. And then I'll just copy paste back to my transcript, and then I'll write. You know, I'll elaborate on whatever that thought was on paper, on my computer.
That's great. That's so good.
It really helps. If you get stressed out, at least writing does a lot.
Totally.
I think clearing your head, like having a notepad by my bed, is really something that I always do. But I do use my phone more now, but I have to get my thoughts out because I'm worried I'm going to forget them in the morning also.
I know. I feel like my best thoughts come during my sleep.
Me too.
Oh, yeah.
But do you find yourself waking up in the middle of the night and having to like write them down?
I wake up in the middle of the night. Yeah, or I'll wake up in the middle of the night and I'll just like put it on my phone, or I'll wake up my husband. He's like, go to bed. You know, I get. Yeah. What about you, Brandon? Are you reading it?
I used to write too, but I hated writing. It's like, there's like a saying. It's like, I hate to write, but it feels great to have written. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like to get it out of the way. I used to have a sex and dating advice column, so I would like write that, like, you know, and that was really fun to do, but I don't really like miss the writing part. Right now I'm reading The Meaning of Mariah Carey, the Mariah Carey memoir. It's taken me a while to get through it because of with all the election stuff and just everything going on. Like, you know what I mean? And I got the audio version because it's like, first I'm gonna want to listen to Mariah tell her story.
Yeah.
And then I just picked up this book that I just started yesterday called, I'm looking at the author's name. It's Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari. Have you guys heard of this?
No.
Someone bought me that for Christmas.
Oh, yeah? Did you read it?
I didn't. Isn't that awful?
Okay.
You would think I had a lot of time.
It's like a graphic novel, right? Mm-hmm. It's like a graphic novel of the brief history of humankind, and it goes from like, you know, the Stone Age and the evolution of archaic human species and all that, but it's two very different extremes. Mariah Carey's memoir and then that.
Yeah, I feel like it's so hard. I feel like I've missed reading because you do get so caught up in social media. And I think reading's so important. I picked up Untamed by Glennon Doyle,
Okay.
which is it's just got so many rave reviews, and I'm obsessed that I had to take a car ride, of course, to the plastic surgeon, which was like 3.5 hours. So I got it on audio as well, and I listened to it, and her voice is mesmerizing. It is so fabulous, and it's just so interesting, and it's great.
Bronwyn loved that one.
Yeah, it's great. Untamed, amazing.
She loved that. Yeah, I haven't read it.
Yeah, it's great, and I
don't sleep on audiobooks. I think people like look down on audiobooks. If you don't have time and you're on the go, it's fine. You know,
and it's usually
as long as you're getting it.
Yeah, and it's usually in the author's voice, which is great.
Yeah.
And then you really get the emotion behind it, and I absolutely love it. I'm doing my book. It's funny because I'm doing it with a ghostwriter because I thought I couldn't write it, but it's more of a collaboration because I feel like I'm doing so much to it. But the writing part, you know, it's so hard because you forget. It's not a memoir because it's more about women in business, and it's called Caviar, Dreams, Tuna Fish Budget. It feels good to write it, but then I feel like, oh my God, it's so therapeutic, but painful at the same time.
Yeah.
Sometimes I look back at it, I'm like, wow, I've done some really fucked up shit.
The holiday season is almost upon us.
It is. It's almost the holiday season. You know what that means? I'll be mailing a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
Christmas cards, Hanukkah cards, gifts, everything.
Gifts galore. And going to the post office for me remains a headache.
Yeah, I can't take going to the post office.
No. It's just stressful and time consuming.
It feels like leaving your house, so you could use stamps.com.
Well, it makes it so much easier. Anything you could do at the post office, you could do right from your computer.
Yes, everybody, we should be doing stamps.com. And I am completely obsessed with it. And I've been using it for a while. And you guys could be using it too. Just use our code.
Well, the fact also that it makes it not just quicker and easier, it makes it cheaper. Makes stamps.com a no-brainer.
Who doesn't want to save money, especially on shipping and mailing stuff? It's amazing.
You can get 5 cents of every first class stamp. You can get up to 40% of priority mail. And we've said this before, and we'll say it again, up to 62% of UPS rates as well as UPS.
It's
USPS.
Less expensive than UPS, and you send stuff USPS. It's amazing.
It's serious. So it's no wonder over 900,000 small businesses like ours use stamps.com.
We have a small business.
That's right. So don't spend a minute of your holiday season at the post office this year. Sign up for stamps.com instead. There is no risk. With our promo code CAVIAR, you get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a digital scale with no long-term commitments or contracts.
I love it.
Just go to stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage and type in CAVIAR, CAVIAR. That's stamps.com and enter CAVIAR. Stamps.com, never go to the post office again. Right. Despite it all, you see, so you are probably one of the most positive people I've ever met. You could get through anything. You're strong. Where did it come from? Was it a more senior thing? Like,
I don't know. I feel like I feel like that's why I love being with you guys who are on this podcast with this chick. It's just like, I still have faith in humanity, even though so many things get us down. I feel like I've been through so many things, you know, growing up with my mother. And I think if you're a survivor and, you know, the human spirit is very resilient and we've survived so many things, we can't let everything, you know, just bury us. Because I love to give everybody, you know, the benefit of the doubt. I mean, granted, you get disappointed a lot, but that doesn't make me not still, you know, want to, you know, continue on the next day and give someone a chance.
Yeah.
And I think that's right. Isn't that what
it's good to have optimism. I think that that's something that, like, if you're not an inherently like optimistic person, like you can gain that from like these other facets that we've been talking about, because it's hard to see the best in other people, I think, all the time. But I think when you find solace in the uncontrollable, that's what I try to do a lot, especially like during these times. It's like, if I can't control it and it makes me upset, great. That's the most comforting thing to me ever. Because if I did everything that I can do, then I did my part. And that's the most beautiful thing of all, right?
Yeah.
I can't speak for everyone else, but I think sometimes like the reason I'm drawn sometimes to like marginalized communities, whether it's like LGBTQ issues or is women or just like, you know, or Black women, whatever it is. I think that like sometimes specifically like in gay culture, I find that like the reason sometimes gay men can be so funny is because we kind of corner the market on like taking tragedy and making comedy out of it.
I know.
Every day you're trying to be stamped out by someone or some other kind of force. And people that, like you said, survive, I think are usually the most optimistic or the funniest because we have to be. And there's beauty in that, you know? So I think that's where the optimism comes from.
I think you're absolutely right. That's such a good point. I totally agree. And I, you know, I always say this, the LGBTQ community, and I say this all the time, if they're not the best group of people in the whole world, they're the most creative. They're
the most supportive,
of each other. In every ethnic diversity, in every situation.
I mean, it's like, I think the same thing about like women too. I think whenever like, this is a whole other conversation, but if like the world were ran by women, we wouldn't be in a lot of the messes that we're in, you know what I mean? It's like every kind of these groups, like everyone's got something really great. It's just, you know, it's a matter of.
Is it just the straight white men? No, I like that too.
I didn't say it.
Because I happen to love straight white men, you know? I'm married to one. No, I'm only kidding.
Well, going off of what Brandon said, no matter whether you're LGBTQ plus, a woman, a marginalized community, when you live in a world that wasn't made for you, you do find alternate routes in order how to do things that are new and exciting. And
they have imaginations that are kind of.
Yeah, and it's inherent creativity. And so people look at this and they're like, oh my God, how amazing. And it's like, yeah, it is so amazing to have taken something that wasn't created for you and not only create it for you, but make it so much more accessible to so many other people.
Yeah, exactly.
I have to believe that post-pandemic, post-election, whatever happens, that the world is going to become a more creative place and that we are going to start listening to each other and that something so beautiful and positive is
That's only if we have the right outcome on the election.
Yeah, Barb.
I mean, with like to piggyback on the pandemic thing that Lexi was just saying, it's like, you know, a lot of people were complaining about pandemic, but I don't know, personally, I'm one of those people, one of the few that actually like, I feel like I flourished in the pandemic. I was alone a lot more, but I was more creative than I've ever been. I felt like more motivated to be positive. I don't know. I just feel like it helped me. And I feel like a lot of us are going to come out of the pandemic on the other side more creative and better.
Oh,
it's
definitely.
dark right now, but yeah.
I'm 21 pounds lighter.
Yeah,
I'm so fucking happy. I stopped eating and started working out and got off my ass and put my shit together. You know, it like made me.
I'm not spending money on like random things that I used to spend them on. It's like I feel like I've like chopped down my life in a really good way. So I don't know. That's just me personally. And I know a lot of people that feel the same way.
No, I do. Yeah, I do too. Like listen, besides the super fit, I lost weight. I feel like we focused on a lot of different things that are important. I got to spend time with the people who really mean something to me. I mean, I was blessed that I got to work during the pandemic as well. I mean, because we worked together in our office. It's so small anyway out of my house, but I got to film my season.
And we're blessed because of that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we
will be blessed.
Yeah, it was good. Thank God that we got to do it. But no, I felt also during the pandemic made me pivot and see, you know, change up the business, not all your eggs in one basket. And I think that's also hard to inspire people because so many people did suffer during the pandemic, you know, with health or being isolated. And so that's why I do feel like people will come out of the pandemic. I hope kinder and gentler and all of those things.
I hope
so. Barb?
I hope so, but I just
Mayor Barb.
You know, I think there's so much work to be done, and I think during this pandemic and everything is so much more elevated. You know, everything is so much more in our face. Like Black Lives Matter. I mean, it was such a long time coming for something like that to happen, and I think you know, because of the pandemic, it gave us space to tell the United States what was wrong, you know, and it incenses me that still to this day that people aren't created equal and that people in this country are still racist. And that's why, you know, I want to look at the positive, but I still think that there's so much work to be done, like, especially in New York City. And that's why I want to be mayor. Like, I think that it's not an inclusive city. Even though we say it is, it's just so segregated, and there's, you know, the very, very wealthy, and then there's the very poor. And I just think that somebody needs to lead, you know, New York City and the country to make this country a more inclusive feeling place, because it doesn't feel that way right now.
Well, I feel like this is also the perfect storm, because in a pandemic, when you can't see people's smiling faces, when you're not, you know, like regardless of
it's
the
easier
abuse,
to hate somebody.
It is. And also, regardless of the abuse, if you both love Stevie Nicks and you're all at a Stevie Nicks convention smiling and you have a common ground, your mood is elevated, you feel good, you put aside differences. We've not had social opportunities to stay positive and put aside our differences and like laugh together. And I think that was an accelerant. That was like a foot on the gas of like disaster.
You know what, Lexi, that was a very good point. It's just like to even get our points across, or to have an honest debate with someone, it was all done via the internet, via social media, not face to face. It was done in a very distant way, isolated way that no one could really see the true emotion. It was done all virtually, which is so bizarre.
I guess
people will say anything.
And we didn't want to.
No, it's good for our
it's okay. I feel like, you know, it's much easier to talk about difficult things when you're face to face over a plate of pasta. You know, like you talk about it, you get it out, and you move on. Whereas right now, everyone sits and stews and goes over things. Like, so I think it's a good segue into like, how do you guys get up in the morning and make yourselves feel positive when truthfully you want to like bury your head under the covers? Because I know a lot of people feel that way right now.
Yeah. Do you get up early? Are you guys late sleepers? Do you go right to the gym, get in the shower?
Well, during the pandemic, I have been waking up a lot earlier than I normally do. I always had a problem with sleeping in too late. A lot of Italian kids are coddled and they're like, they need their sleep, Cole. You know, sleep in on a Saturday until 12 p.m. But I've been getting up a lot earlier. I've been writing on the piano almost as soon as I wake up. I do the lemon water with honey hot first, mix it all together, and then put it over ice.
I do the ginger.
Yeah.
I do the ginger. Good job.
Oh,
it's good. And I do think
when you wake up.
Oh, it's good. And it makes you go to the bathroom too if you need to go instead of coffee. I'm just kidding. Well, I'm not kidding at all. But something going off of what Brandon said too, I find myself like reflecting more in the morning than I used to, because I think I just have time by myself. And I think that during the pandemic, it was partially why it was so scary, because, you know, obviously people were dying and people were getting infected. They are getting infected and dying. But I think what really scared a lot of people was like the obscenity of being by yourself and like being confronted with yourself and things that either you've done or things that were done to you, because rarely do we get the chance to ever just be alone and think about those things. And I found it therapeutic to look back at some things that have happened to me or that I've done to people and be like, wow, so I actually can laugh at it now. And I can see that it's so much smaller than I thought it was. And it doesn't erase the history of what happened. It just means that I know how to move forward. And anytime I find myself growing, it always happens in the morning, and it makes me eager to wake up.
Oh, growing in the morning. I call that
growing in the morning.
I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding.
Morning wood here.
Morning wood. That was very inappropriate. You're like the age of my child. I'm sorry. I know.
Talking about shitting, morning wood, everything.
Everything.
Not a big deal.
You gotta get up. Barb, what do you get up early in the morning? What do you do?
I'm an outdoorsy person, so so just the leaves, you know, looking at the leaves from the window and kind of knowing that it's light and bright out. I'm definitely a light sensitive person. I love bright light. So I'll sleep with like my curtains open. And then I also love to get out and walk or jog. Like just that, again, that fresh air feels amazing to me. It inspires me to think. And I also love to talk to people and teach people. So I spent a lot of time during the pandemic doing little DIY videos. So how to build a birdhouse, how to build, and actually Anthony edited everything for me. You actually inspired me to do these videos.
Aww. They're beautiful.
A planter's box, And it actually helped me a lot because, you know, when you use your hands and you use your mind and you're able to, you know, build something from wood, talk about wood, you know, you're able to build, you're able to build something from wood and, you know, make something from nothing and then add beauty to your home, and you're able to give this advice to others to do the same, and that helps them like save time and save money and makes their home beautiful. So that really makes me feel good, to make other people feel good. So those are some of the things that I look forward to doing, and that's how I get up out of bed every day, just, you know, with that in mind.
That's good. Brandon, you're more.
I've always been an early riser. So I would go to the gym and stuff like that before pandemic. I kind of gave up on the gym pandemic, but I'm totally fine with it. I said I'm just going to take a year off of stuff like that.
Really?
But I'm just giving up on that. But like, I still wake up at like 7 a.m. in the morning because it's like, for my job, I do social media for a company. So it's like, I still need to like, beyond my account, I still do that. So I need to wake up and focus on that, make coffee and stuff like that. And I always try to like run in the morning if I can, or if I'm really up to it, because I just feel like that just changes automatically my mood. So I would say that's like the number one thing that kind of like switches things for me and puts me in a good mood. Yeah.
Wow, that's so good.
I think working out changed it for me. I started working out at a trainer, and I look forward to, we do it on Zoom. She's in England. It's a friend of a friend. And I look forward to being with her in the morning. Like, we gossip, we get the day started. I'm up at 5:45. We hammer it out. And my legs and my butt hurt. I can't walk. I can barely pick up a pen. And then I feel great the rest of the day.
I mean, I'm very impressed that everybody here is such a morning person. I got to be honest. During the pandemic, I stayed at, you know, the height of the pandemic. I just want to say, like, when it first started and we had a quarantine, we really couldn't go out. Everybody was like the shelter in place situation. I was like, wow, this is fucking amazing. I'm staying in bed every day till like 10. So I literally would stay up really late till like, you know, 2 o'clock every morning. You know, Joe and I were, you know, we had never watched Ozark. So at that point, I binge watched the entire season of Ozark. We would stay up all night. I'd sleep every day till like 10. I wouldn't start my day, right, Lex?
Yeah.
I was so excited. I wouldn't shower every day till like 4 in the afternoon. I think because I never really had that I could, you know, do it as, even though I was a late sleeper on the weekend. I am not a morning person. But now,
it was like a rollover snow day for you.
yeah, it was a rollover
like
snow
every
day.
day was
I was so happy.
Before that, like, magic wore off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this is fun. Like,
yeah, so I felt like, wow, I'm really just sleeping late, and just, I was cooking, I was feeding everybody, I'd get up, I'd eat a lot, and it just felt, but then after that, I was like, shit, I gotta like pull myself together. So now I really am getting up early. I do my emails early in the morning, I have my coffee, I'm up at, but I should really shower first thing and get my shit together, but I have a hard time doing that. I like to be in my PJs all morning, you know, shuffling around the house, having my coffee.
I think when you get your Peloton, it'll be different.
I told Joe I want a Peloton for Christmas because
I want that too.
I'm getting a Peloton because he's like, oh, what are we going to do this year for the holiday? And I just said, I don't need jewelry. Where the hell am I going? I have enough jewelry. I don't need handbags. I don't need anything fancy. We do work on my house. Get me something that I really, you know, I need. I need to work out. Get me a freaking Peloton. That's like what I really need. Get me something useful.
Yeah.
So I think that's what I need to do. I got to get on the Peloton.
Your music in the morning and get up for that. You'll be in the mood. That'll get you going.
Yeah, definitely.
That'll get me going. I need a Peloton. Well, you guys are all good working out.
Well, especially because there's no discos anymore. Like, wow, I sounded like really old then. Like, I don't know. Like,
when was the last time we danced?
No dance.
I mean, you know.
Yeah, seriously.
Out of my
workout time.
I want to be able to sweat on someone else, dance all night. Just have
someday.
No, it's literally life changing. It is life.
It was March Senior.
Good for you.
My mother could be calling God knows.
Was your ringtone Madonna? Is that Madonna ringtone?
Yeah, those Lexi.
It was borderline.
Borderline. I heard that when I first met Marge Senior. She came up to me and she said, "Oh, you're so handsome. Are you single?" And I said, "Yeah." And then she just walks away, and 5 minutes later comes by with this guy in her hand. And she's like, "Steve, this is Brandon." Da, da, da.
Yes, Steven. I know. You guys are still friends, right? You and Steven?
Yeah, we're still friends. Yeah.
It's so hysterical. I know Marge Senior. She's the best. Well, I mean, this is it. So like, what advice, what's your best piece of advice?
What's a good takeaway?
What's a good takeaway that we could give to everybody, like to keep it moving forward? We're still in the pandemic. We're uncertain about, the future of the country. What piece of positivity could we give to everybody, each one of you, as a takeaway?
I'm feeling really positive about the election today, even though the map looks really bad, or in some areas, I think we have a clear path to victory. I know we weren't going to talk too much about the election, but I feel really positive about the outcome. And I would just say, like, in terms of social media, because that's something we were talking about, I would say that, like, whatever you're putting out there, just always, before you do it, just like always question, what value does this add to someone's life? Is it going to make someone smile, or is it just going to stress people out? Do you know what I mean? And even adversely, I think that like it's really, if you kind of hate social media for whatever reason, really examine why, and maybe go through what you're following or what you're spending your time looking at, because I think of what value does this add to my life? So I just try to make people smile and laugh. And if it's not going to make someone laugh or smile, then what's the fucking point? I mean, keep it to yourself, I guess. It's like, and then, like I said, adversely, just like think about what value it adds to your life, because life is too short right now. And the little bit of time you have,
I think going off of Brandon's point, it's something that I was thinking is my best advice is I feel like we're in such a time of cutting things out, right? So it's like we're having so much time to reflect. So it's like, I'm going to cut this out. I'm going to cut this out. Focus less on cutting things out, and what you can add is more important, because value added is always better than, a negative. And then if you're feeling like you're adding too many things, that's fine. And you can pick and choose what you really like and what you want to keep around. But, and don't put too much pressure on yourself. I think especially creative people find that there's just so much pressure. If you go to bed at night and you're like, shit, I was on my phone for too long, or I ate too much and now I feel stupid and I had a cigarette and I shouldn't have had one. It's like, we are all human, as cliche as it sounds, and we're meant to be this way. We're meant to learn and grow so that we can help other people learn and grow. So if you make a mistake, that's okay, because you might save yourself from making it again, and you'll save somebody else from making that mistake as well.
You're right. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Very insightful. Barb?
Well, I just think surround yourself with positive people like you guys. I'm so blessed to have you guys in my life. I really mean that from the bottom of my heart. And I think, what you guys were saying before, now is a time to, reflect on things that you've done in the past, and whether they've worked for you or not. Make sure that you have a clear path. And definitely, I'm a big believer in helping people. Like, I could not exist in my life without supporting other women entrepreneurs, supporting other friends, picking people up that aren't feeling as good as me. I think that is so important in life, to be able to give to others. Because if you don't give to others, what good is it to exist in life? So I think if we saw more of that nowadays, it would just, help other people, make ourselves feel good. So that's kind of going to be my promise to myself moving forward, to always think about other people, and to think about, where they're coming from, what they're going through, and how I can, help them and be a better person.
Oh,
I think that's so
great.
important. That's
Love that.
I think as always keeps me positive, is I acknowledge how lucky I am. No matter how bad things get, my parents taught me from a very young age, someone has it much worse than you.
Yeah.
So be really grateful that you woke up and you have the ability to smile. So smile at everyone you can.
Exactly.
We need a lot of positivity today. We need all the positivity in the world.
Exactly.
We're gonna be.
Exactly. So thank you, our positivity panel.
I think
we should.
Thank you.
This should be a perfect thing, the positivity panel. We should do something like this, the positivity panel.
I just saw Joe in the background.
Oh my God, Joe's coming in. We
He's
should
a
do
wild man.
positivity panel commentary on different things.
We should
do that, right?
Different things.
Yeah.
I love that. The positivity.
Love that.
I love that.
I love that.
That's far from positive.
Well, it's good because we're not like rainbows and butterflies type people, but we're good at talking about it in a way that I think would probably make other people feel good.
But we're all diverse also, which is, which is we could do like a positivity panel on different things.
Yes.
Totally.
I love that.
Well, thank
I
you
love
guys
that.
so
Love
much
you
for
guys.
coming. We
Love
love
you guys.
Thank you.
Love you guys so much.
Bye, guys.
Love
Barbara,
Barbara, I'm gonna text.
that was an amazing. I feel so much more positive.
I feel much better.
And everybody had great different advice.
Yeah.
And I love to hear what everybody did, their different songs to motivate them.
I just like to see people's smiling faces and connect and like, I think the adding value thing was so nice. If you want to add in value to someone's day, keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, exactly.
Be positive.
Yeah, be positive. Add value.
Ooh, you
and
look very
don't,
angelic right now.
Oh,
by the
I
way.
do.
The
By
lights
the way,
just shining right on
yes.
your head.
If you guys are just listening, go watch us on YouTube because I really look angelic. I think that's
And I look like Liberace and Kendall Sanders had a baby.
Yeah, that's right. Which is not such a bad thing. It's a nice combination.
Fried chicken, piano playing.
Yeah, who doesn't love fried chicken and a great piano medley?
Yeah, love that.
Yes.
So I hope everyone enjoyed the positivity. I can't speak.
The PP, the positivity panel.
And we gave you PMA, not PMS.
Yes.
So tune in next week because again we have great guests. And we have a really good surprise guest coming up.
Yeah, an amazing surprise guest for Thanksgiving. You guys are going to go absolutely crazy. They'll be coming to you from my new kitchen.
Yes, so we have so much fun stuff coming up. So tune in every week. Keep your spirits up, people. Stay positive.
Yes.
Caviar Dreams, Tuna Fish Budget.
Yes, Caviar Dreamers. Keep dreaming.
With the real Margaret Josephs and the life of Mrs. B.
Yes.
Keep dreaming, guys.
Keep dreaming, guys.